Vendetta is the fourth Riftbound set following directly after Unleashed, and it's filled with some of the game's most collectible cards yet. We have signed legend cards, iconic rivalries with connecting artworks, and an entirely new group of Crystal Rose alt arts. So today we're taking a complete look at Vendetta from a collector's perspective. We'll break down standout artworks and explore which cards could become the favorites of the set. To keep things simple, we've divided the set into 3 different tiers. At the bottom we have the cards that should generally be easier to find. And as we move up the pyramid, the cards become rarer and more premium, with the rarest collector cards sitting at the very top. Each tier will be a different section in this video, so we'll begin at the very bottom and gradually work our way up. And make sure you stick around until the end, because there's one special card that sits outside of these tiers, as this card cannot be found in your regular booster packs. Now that the structure is clear, let's have a look at what gives Vendetta its identity. As the name suggests, the entire set is built around rivalries. Throughout the set, we'll see some of League of Legends' most iconic characters facing off against each other. And this is not just part of the theme, Riot has brought these rivalries into the cards themselves, as the artworks are designed to be connected and displayed together. But before we get into those rivalry cards, let's begin with Vendetta's new Crystal Rose alt arts. These cards bring the Crystal Rose skin line from Wild Rift into Riftbound. They replace the usual battle focus style with something much more elegant and luxurious. From a collector's point of view, their appeal will likely come from the artwork and the popularity of the champions featured. And while I don't think we need to break down every card individually, there are definitely a few designs that stand out to me. My personal favorites are Kai'Sa, Ahri and Lux. Riot has confirmed that the Crystal Rose cards will appear as often as other regular alt arts in Vendetta. For reference, a booster box contains roughly 2 alternate arts. Despite their special numbering, Crystal Rose cards are not considered overnumbers, as Riot reserves the title for cards featuring artwork created by the Riftbound team. Now let's move up to the second tier, the Overnumber cards. This tier is divided into 2 different groups. First, we have the 9 regular Legend Overnumbers. Alongside those, Vendetta also contains 22 Rival Overnumbers, which come together to form 11 connecting rivalry pairs. We'll come back to those legend artworks later, so for now, let's focus on the cards that truly capture the theme of the set, the Rival Overnumbers. Each card features one champion, but when placed beside its matching rival, both artworks connect to create one complete scene. For collectors, I think this makes them especially interesting. Pulling one side of the artwork may naturally make you want to find the matching card and complete the pair. So let's take a look at the full lineup. Now that we have seen every pair, there are a few artworks that stand out to me the most. Of course we have Vi and Jinx, as this is the one we're most familiar with. Then of course there are Diana and Leona, whose whole team fit the idea of the set perfectly. And finally my personal favorite, Kayle and Morgana. And while it's still too early to know which of these cards will become the most valuable, I would not be surprised if some of these connecting artworks become especially sought after. Now that we've covered the Rival Overnumbers, it's time to head over to the 9 legends and their signed version, waiting for us at the very top. Historically, roughly 1 in every 10 Overnumber cards has appeared as a signed version, so it's safe to assume that these cards will likely be one of the most difficult to obtain. So let's take a look at all the cards. Looking at the signed cards, there are 3 cards that I think will become the most sought after. In the first place, I'll be putting Zed. I personally love the painted style of the artwork and I think it suits his shadows perfectly. In the second place, I would put Jace. There is so much attention to detail in this card. You can see Mel reaching out to his heart, while Victor appears to be reaching for his mind. I think the artwork captures Jace being pulled between these 2 important people in his life extremely well. And in the third place, I will put Akali. For me, she just wins over Nessus, but it mostly comes down to the popularity of the character. And then there is the wildcard Shen. His artwork has already become quite a bit of a meme in the community, and honestly, that might make him strangely collectible. It may not be everyone's favorite artwork, but it's definitely one people will remember. But one thing you should definitely remember is that each of these cards will also be available without their signature as regular Legend Overnumbers. So even though the signed versions sit at the very top, collectors will still have another way to own these amazing artworks. And with that, we have covered all the collector tiers of the set, but there is still one final card to talk about. And that is Mel, Newly Awakened. Unlike the other cards we've covered, this version of Mel cannot be pulled from Vendetta booster packs. Instead, it will be available through the updated Nexus Night promo packs, which can be obtained by participating in tournaments hosted by your local game stores. And if the previous Nexus Night Champion promos are anything to go by, then anyone lucky enough to pull this card will surely be amazed. And with that, we have now covered every major collectible card in Vendetta. If you enjoy this kind of videos, please let me know by hitting that like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.